Welcome back to my channel. We're not doing anything with the lips because, as you see, we got a lot of stuff going on. This video will be me using the new Martine Cosmetics Mission XXX palette, and I'm going to do 5 looks, one on each eye. That'll be one clip, one on each eye, second clip, and then you'll see me create this look. And I do think this is the most simple one that I've done. My goal when I purchase a new palette is to use every shade at least once, and so that's why I do rose if I can, and if not, I try and do, you know, 2 columns at a time on one eye. And I know some people are not a fan of just putting on shadows just to put them on, but I look at it this way. If you say, okay, you have these 6 shades, I look at it as palette bingo. You do what you can and make it work. So that's the way I look at it, to kind of help me be a little more creative, put something together. If I like it, I'll do it again. If not, I won't do it again, or I'll tweak it. But that's just my personal goal, is just to use every shade at least once and not have any palette where I'll say, oh, I've used this for one look one time, you know, 4 or 5 months ago or something like that. I do want to get use out of all the palette so that I can then have an informed opinion of the palette and what my experiences were using every shade in the palette. And so also, with all of these looks, I did use the highlighter palette. I do have the highlighter on today. I have on this one. And so I hope you enjoy the looks. This is my first time doing this style of video, so I'm hoping it makes sense. And I know it's with the editing, making sure things line up right. But anyway, you'll see me at the end after this look, and I'll give you my final thoughts on this collection. Starting with chapstick, of course. On my face right now, I have on the L'Oreal Brow Pencil, Milk Hydro Grip Primer, Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup 4W1 Honey Bronze, concealer, the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Flawless Wear Concealer in 4N under my eyes and around here. And that is it so far. We're going to prime our lids, and we're going to put NYX retractable eyeliner in Golden Olive underneath our lower lash line, and then we'll jump into this look. I also took a white and I put that just right here on the inner portion of the lower lash line. I'm super excited. Oh, this is going to be orgasmic. We are jumping in to this palette. We're going to do one look on each eye. I'm thinking top row one eye, bottom row the other eye. We'll see what happens. Esom T37 going into Joan. A clean one, and we're going into this shade here, which is Hudson. Hourglass number 3, we're going into Jones. We're taking a clean one and going into this shade here, which is Feral. Taking a clean one and going into this shade here, which is Parker. We're going to take a clean one and we're going into this shade here, which is Ash. We're going to take a Scalp Orange number 61 and we're going into this shade here, which is Carter. We're going to take a clean one and go into this shade here, which is Bishop. We're taking a clean one and going into this shade here, which is Ma'am, my man, M-A-M-A-N, my man. What's up, my man? Sorry, I got loud. Shh, quiet time. We're taking a clean one and going into this shade here, which is Crow. We're going to take two Fenty 210 brushes. One we're just going to blend up here. There's no shadow on this brush. The other one we're going to do the same thing on this side. No shadow on this brush. I'm taking a little bit more of Carter, this shade here, because it's looking like this isn't blending. I'm going to take this brush again and just do small circular motions. We're going to take Scott Barnes number 63 and go into this shade here, which is Cane. We're going to take a clean one and go into this shade here, which is Ron. We're going to go back to this brush that had Cane on it. And we're just going to feather it in just a little bit. We're going to go back to our blending brushes. This was the one we used on this side, and we're just going to feather that in. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to take Scott Barnes number 60 and we're going to go into Joan, this shade here. We're going to take a clean one and go into this shade here, which is Hudson. Taking a Makeup Forever number 210 and we're going to go into Jones, this shade here. We're going to take a clean one and go into Ash, this shade here. Two Esom V33s, no shadow on them. That's for one eye. This is for the other eye. Taking the brush I used for foundation and I'm just patting. I did not add anything else on here, but I see a little fallout, so I'm just patting and letting whatever's left in the brush take away the fallout. I'm going to do Fenty Fly Liner and Cause I'm Black on upper lash line on both eyes. We're going to use the Lancome Sills Boost mascara primer, and we're going to put on the Scott Barnes Pumped Up Mascara top and bottom lashes. We're going to wipe off some chapstick and figure out a lip. We're going to use the Fenty Stun and Unveil just because it's easy and it goes with everything. And we're going to edit this out. We're going to use Fenty number 190 brush, and this is the Natasha Denona Palette 07 Neutral Beige, and we're going to use this side, and we're going to use this for blush on both sides of my face. We're just going to do that like that, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. The highlighter palette, another moment. I know I'm so dramatic. And yes, it's dual chrome. Both of these are dual chrome. Look at that. So we're going to do one on one side, one on the other. We have out Scott Barnes Travel Highlighter brush. Just to see. This shade is 003. I am not tapping off. I'm actually going to wiggle. We're going to take the clean one and go into this one, which is 01. We're going to wiggle this time. The first time we swiped, this time we're wiggling. Ooh. These are our first two looks with the new Martine Cosmetics Mission Triple X palette. I am holding it upside down. For this eye, we've used this row. This is the top row. For this eye, we've used the bottom row. So as of right now, we've used 12 of the 18 shades in this palette. If I had to choose, because I like darker looks, I would choose this one. But I do still like this one. I would tweak it next time, especially the shade I use for the inner transition. But I definitely do like both of them. I'm loving this highlighter is on this side. This highlighter is on this side. And so I'm really glad that I did purchase this bundle. You will see me for the next look. Today is November 6th. We're going to put on chapstick, of course, as usual. It is 70 outside, y'all. I'm in the state of Delaware, and it is 80 degrees inside my apartment. Yeah, and this eye keeps tearing. What's on my face so far? Hydrating eye cream underneath my eyes. Milk Hydro Grip face primer. Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place makeup for W1. Estee Lauder Stay in Place Flawless Wear Concealer in 4N under my eyes and this area right here. I set my face with Fashion Fair Truly Tawny Set It Loose powder. The shade is Truly Tawny. The powder is called Set It Loose. For blush, I used the same one from yesterday, the Anastasia Denona Palette 07 Neutral Beige. This shade right here. And to set my face, to spray my face, I used the Maybelline New York Lasting Fix Makeup Setting Spray up to 16-hour wear matte finish. Whew, that was a mouthful. Underneath this eye, I have NYX Retractable Eyeliner in brown. We're going to finish up the rose. This is going to be funky, and I don't know if funky in a good way or a bad way. We've used the first row, one eye in the previous clip, and the bottom row, and so now we're going to use the middle row. So I do think it's really going to look funky. We're going to start by priming this eye with the Fenty primer and blend that out, and then we'll jump into the look. I'm going to go ahead and prime this eye because we're using one shade on the lid here, and then we're going to layer. We're going to take an Hourglass number 3 brush and go into this shade here, and that's going to go all over this lid, and then we're going to do this entire eye and then come back over here. And I'm doing it this way because this is a tacky primer, and if I don't put shadow on top of it, my puffy part of the lid, as you see, covers my mobile lid. It'll start to stick, and it feels a little uncomfortable. And so I'm just laying this here just so my puff lid won't stick to my mobile lid. Asum T37, we're going to go into Vasquez, this shade here. Hourglass number 3, Gorman, this shade here. Scott Barnes number 63, we're going to go into Ripley, this purple right here. Going back to the brush with Gorman, not adding any shadow. We're blending in between. This is where it's going to get seriously funky. This is a Scott Barnes number 61, and we're going to take Brett, this yellow. A clean one, we're going into Dallas, this green. Not as funky as I thought. When I put the NYX Retractable Eyeliner under here, I did blend it out with this brush. This is a Fenty 220, and we're going to use this same brush and go into Dwayne, this shade here. We're going to take it all the way over. The brush we used for foundation, we did not add anything to it. We're just tapping to remove fallout. This is a Fenty 230 going into Joan, this shade here. I'm going to flip the brush over and go into Hudson, this shade here. Going to go back to the side with Joan, and we're going to sweep in between, and we're going to blend up top. That same foundation brush, not adding anything to it. Me sweating is not helping as far as the fallout sticking and not brushing away. Scott Barnes number 62, my man, this shade right here. And that's going to be our transition shade. NYX Retractable Eyeliner in gray, that's going to go under here. A clean Fenty 220, my man, that shade right here. And that's going to go all the way across our lower lash line. We're going to take the brown inner rim over here, and we're going to take the gray inner rim over here. Fenty Fly Liner, because I'm black, upper lash line, both eyes. We're going to take Lancome Sills Booster Mascara Primer, up and bottom lashes, both sides, and we're going to put on Scott Barnes Pumped Up Mascara. Scott Barnes Travel Highlighter brushes, highlighter palette. Look at these shades. Like, what colors are they? We're going to take this one because we didn't use this before. This one is 002, and this is the only one with the symbol in it, and it's pretty hard to ruin, which is good. We're going to put this on this side since this is the gray eye, I guess. Gray and black eye. I didn't realize this was a duochrome too. That's this shade. I knew the other two were, but I didn't realize this one was. Why would I not think it was, right? Oh my gosh. This reminds me of one of the Danessa Myricks one. But I think this is more vibrant. And it doesn't look lavender gray on me. Oh my gosh. We're going to take this shade. I don't know. This one or this one. What are you saying? Stick with my first thought. And we're not tapping off. I am wiggling. For some reason, this one is looking shiny. And I'm wondering if it's because I'm sweating. And so I'm getting my moisture on the brush, which is getting in the pan. That's what I'm thinking. The other ones don't look like that. It's hard applying makeup when you're sweaty. And I refuse to turn my AC on. It's November. Damn it. So that is that one. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm loving this palette. So this is this look. This eye. Not as funky as I thought. And it is giving me that alien vibe thing. So that's this entire middle row over here. And then we switched up some shades for this eye to do a gray and black look, and I am really happy with that. I put these two together, well, next to each other, because I wanted to see how they looked next to each other. And you can tell kind of sort of that they're different shades, even though it does kind of blend into one shade, almost like a dual chromey type thing. I just realized I forgot a lip. I'm so excited about the the eye look, and I just took pictures and everything. And I have the lip out. We just wiped off chapstick. We're going to take from Rock and Roll Beauty Jimi Hendrix lip liner. We're going to line and fill in our lips with this. This came as a set. So we're going to apply the liquid lip color. And the set, the shades are called Voodoo. So we're going to apply this. Look how sweaty I am, y'all. It is 80 degrees in here. Did I tell y'all that? This is the finished look with the lippy. I will redo pictures. Stay tuned for the next look. Starting with chapstick. Today is November 7th. And yes, I finally broke down and turned my AC on. It was 81 degrees in here. And it was like 70 outside. They say temperatures are going to drop by like 20 degrees. And so I'm just like... It is wintertime though. It is November. On my face right now, L'Oreal Brow Pencil, Milk Hydro Grip Primer, Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup for W1. For concealer, it is still Estee Lauder Double Wear. This is the Radiant Concealer in 4N, and that is right here and right here. And it's the Radiant one, so I didn't want to put it around here. So I have no concealer in this area here. I set my under eye area and still just around my nose where it normally breaks up because my skin is broken from the mask stuff, with the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, sorry for the glare, translucent powder. And for blush, the same one, Natasha Denona 07, this shade here. And I put it on my cheeks, and then not adding any more on the brush, I just kind of patted it around, let it serving as a bronzer slash contour. For my lower lash line, two NYX retractable eyeliners, deep blue, you can see that here, and white, which is right here. And this eye is already tearing, so I don't know how well that's going to stay in this area here. I'm excited for this look. I'm going to prime my eyes. We're going to jump in. We're using all Fenty brushes today. These are 230. This is 210. These are 220. This is the one that I used to blend out the blue liner underneath, so that's why that is blue, even though it's stained anyway. Let me stop talking and get to it. We're taking Jones, this shade here. And we are sweeping gently across the top just to start our blend. We're taking Ripley, this shade here. We're going to lightly sweep in between on both sides. My man. We're also going to do small circular motions right here in the corner. Ash, with the brush we used to blend out the blue eyeliner on our lower lash line. Joan, with the clean one. Going to wrap it just a little bit right here. The brush we use for our transition shade, not adding any color on the brush, or any additional color I should say on the brush. We're going to take this shade here. This is the highlighter palette. This is Mission 001, and we're going to put this right here. Wiping off some chapstick. Sephora gel lip liner, and this shade is in Dark Horse. We're going to line and fill in our lips. Hourglass number 3, we're going into Jones. We're going to use Fenty Fly Liner, and because I'm black, upper lash line, and Scott's Pumped Up Mascara on top and bottom lashes. I'm going to take Fenty's Clear Gloss. This one is in Glass Slipper, and I'm going to use a lipstick applicator, and I'm going to just top this over my lips just to lock in that shadow as if I'm going somewhere. Y'all know I ain't going nowhere. This is the finished look, the 5th look, and we did really simple. We used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shades. So we did a sensible look. Yeah, so even though this is really bright and colorful, you can still just get what I call wearable, because to me, if you wear it, it's wearable. And kept the face simple. I'm loving the highlighter palette. Anyway, we will get to our final thoughts. I hope you enjoyed all of that you saw. We're going to talk about the highlighter palette first because it's easier to talk about it because there's only 3 things in here. I like every single highlighter in this, and I am glad that I did purchase the bundle. And sadly, these sold out even on Beautylish within like a month, and so I did purchase them full price, and I have my notes here. And also, I almost forgot, I purchased this when I made the purchase as well. Just a regular everyday just neutral palette. So if I wanted to pull a couple shimmers or these shades, I have not used this yet because I wanted to use the Mission XXX one. So this palette was $34. There was not a code. I purchased it from the brand's website. So it shipped from Belgium, the same as the 669 palette. It arrived on my doorstep in 2 weeks. And so I'm just like, whoa, like that is awesome. The highlighter palette bundle, the highlighter and the eyeshadow palette, was $98 for both of these. And so with that and with this, my total with $17 for shipping, that hurt, because y'all know I'm like, I will buy extra stuff to give free shipping. But $17 for shipping. It did come from overseas. My total was $149, and actually it came in 13 days. I placed my order on October 18th, and it arrived on, did I say October? What did I say? I don't know why I think I said April. I did say October. I ordered it on October 18th, and it was at my doorstep on October 31st. And so that was really great. So I'm glad I did get it from their website, because I thought I'll wait till it gets to Beautylish, and then I thought I don't want to miss it. And I'm glad that I didn't miss it. All of these, as you have seen, they show up and they show out. I love that they're dual chrome. I was surprised that this one was, which I don't know why, because these two are. So why would this one not be, right? And so this one is, I think, the most subtle. This one is more on the pinky side of the pinky purple. This puts Danessa Myrick to shame. Her highlighter palette I have, this, oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I do like Danessa's too, but this really surprised me. This shade right here really surprised me. They all went on smooth. I don't think they accentuate texture You can definitely see the shine. I like that when I look forward, you don't see a strip of gray. And that's what I really liked about this one. It reminded me sort of the Danessa Myricks Mini Lightworks. I believe it was Blue Moon. It looked a little lavender-ish on me, and it looked kind of grayish in tone. And so I need to use it as a blush topper versus a highlighter because of how it shows up on me. I did not have that issue at all with this. This just showed up. It's the perfect tone for me to use without it looking ashy or gray. And so I am really digging it. Let's get to the palette. I am enjoying this palette, and I told a sister friend of mine, between this one and Martine Cosmetics 669 palette, I could declutter half my palette collection and be content. And I only have maybe like 50 palettes. But I am just so, it's just me. It is just my vibe. And even though I do other looks, you know, monochromatics, which this kind of is too, it's a colorful monochromatic though. Even though I do, you know, I guess the ones they call work appropriate or wearable looks, the light colored looks, I do think they're pretty on me, but it's not my vibe. It doesn't get me excited like this one does, like Haunted Europe does, like the 669 does. Like certain palettes, when I look at it or even when I think to use it, I'm just like, oh, like I am just so excited to just get into it. And I am really thinking of doing another declutter because I want to have that feeling with all of my palettes and not be like, yeah, I need to use it. I haven't used it in like 3 months. You know, I want to be like, oh my gosh, I get to use it. And so there are different textures in this palette. Some shades, some of the dual chromes, there's one in 669, I think it's Cornelia. It's one of the gray ones. It's the same formula as some of the dual chromes in this one. Some of the shimmers are just regular shimmers, regular metallics, and some are baby chunky monkeys. And I say baby chunky monkeys because they are nowhere near the chunky monkey Celestial Shades and Pat McGrath's palette. And so some of these you will definitely get fallout, and in particular this shade here, that's the dual chrome. And quite a few of these I think are dual chromes, but I just didn't know they were, and I didn't really notice it until I placed it. And then when I swipe the brush, you see the shade, and I'm going to show you. Actually, you'll see it in a bit. Like, you see this? It's green, but it's brown. And so some of them I didn't notice until I started to apply them. But there's certain shades. This one here, I already said this one, Hudson and Gorman, and this one here. You will have fallout. Put them over top of a tacky primer, use a sponge tip applicator, and it'll be fine. But once you try to layer it on itself, because it's not adhering to something sticky, you will still have fallout. And I don't know if that'll be the same if you use your finger or not, because I've seen people use fingers for shadows to help eliminate fallout, but then once they try to pack it on itself, they still have fallout. And so I don't know if there really is an answer to not having fallout. And I do my base face first, and so I just deal with it, and then sometimes I'll say, we'll just pretend that it's highlight. I am really digging this though. The mattes are really nice. These two surprised me. The look I did with this row, I had said this is going to be funky. This does not show up as bright as it looks, and neither does this one, and I really like it. I did not have a problem with that because the look did not look funky. It blended fine. It did not look ashy on my complexion, and I really liked the look that I did. And I thought, oh my gosh, this bright ass yellow and this bright ass green, but it worked. It wasn't that stark yellow and the stark green that you see in the pan, and so I really liked that. And so some of these did surprise me in a good way. The palette is a little messy, as I was saying, with some of the shades that are baby chunky monkeys, and you may be able to see some here from this shade. And it's an easy fix, you know, just take your finger and just wipe it along and it comes off. But some of the shades you will have a little bit of mess. And so if you don't mind that, overall, I am happy I got this palette. I'm excited that I have it. I did not have an issue blending any shades. The first look, I was blending something. It might have been this shade here. And because of how I placed it over the primer, which is tacky to me, it just got stuck in that spot and it wouldn't blend out. But I've used it since then and it blended out fine. And so it wasn't anything wrong with the shadow. It was just user error and the primer that I used and how I placed it. I do really like all of these shades. All of them work, even the lighter tones. This is in my transition, as you saw, and it's not ashy. It blends out perfectly. You can't hardly even tell it's there. So my overall recommendation, if it does come back, and this is your color story, get it. And I don't think it will, because 669 has not come back yet. And it surprised me how quick this one sold out, because 669 was there for a little while and then it went on sale and then it sold out. So this one, it just went super quick. And I have not used this little palette yet, but if it's the same formula, I'm sure it'll be fine. None of these look like baby chunky monkeys. There are only, this looks like a metallic, and these three look like metallics as well, but they look like just regular smooth shadows. And then you have the 5 mattes, these 3, and these 2. And so this will just be something to play around with. Nothing I may do dedicated videos for, because the main thing was this thing. And I'm going to show you 669 again, because I think these are fraternal twins. Like, they're twins, they go together, but they don't look alike. Like, you can look at them and say, oh yeah, they go together, but they are completely different palettes. And 669, everything is dark and grungy, and I consider, oh shit, I almost dropped it and I thought I was going to scrape my shadows. 669, everything is really dark, and even though I consider Mission XXX grungy too, you have pops of color, like those different greens. And so looking at these together, like, does this not look like this could just be one complete palette? What do you think? I think so. I think these are great on their own, and I think they will look great together. And so that'll be something that I will do in the future, is a palette mashup, as I've heard some people call it, particularly Joe Beauty 87, when she mixes palettes together. And I'm really looking forward to it, because I'm looking at these two, like, yeah, these are definitely related. Like, these are not even cousins, they're brothers and sisters, these two. And they both have, you know, the dual chromes and other chromes, and I'm just excited to get to it. That'll be it for this video, and I apologize being rude, putting stuff up and not looking at you. So let me know if you enjoyed this style video, and if so, when I do get another new palette that I'm really super excited about, I will do this format again. And so just let me know how you think about that, versus one video, just one look, another video, another look. And also this way, I think, will help me not post every single day, which has been, it's been nice. It's been nice. I'm still just as busy, because every look, every clip was a day, but just not uploading every day. It's been a little calming for me, and I didn't realize how hectic it had been for me doing that, because once you get in the groove, you're in the groove. But I'm really liking having some downtime and not having an upload every day, but it still will probably be almost every day. I'm babbling, I'm excited, I'm going to go. Let me know what you think of these looks, and you will see me in the next video. Thanks.